Pro wrestling loves people that are related. Actually, all sports do. If there's ever a family tie to shout about, you can bet your ass is going to be shoved down your throat while someone scores a touchdown or pins an individual's shoulders to the mat for the 1-2-3. There's the Harts, the Ortons, the Anawais, and, of course, the McMahons. How could we ever forget about them? But these we all know about. I mean, when it comes to Vince and the fruit of his loins, we probably know everything. Far too much, actually. There are others, however, that are a bit more of a surprise. I'm Simon from What Culture. This is 10 wrestlers you didn't know were related. Number 10. Jerry Lawler and the Honky Tonk Man. If you're any kind of relative in the Lawler family, you better make damn sure you have a full-on gimmick, be that as a king or just pretending you're Elvis Presley. As you do. But indeed, Jerry Lawler and the Honky Tonk Man are cousins, meaning that Bryan Christopher wasn't the only Lawler relative to ever step foot in a WWE ring. If you're interested, their relationship has been incredibly up and down over the years. Just type their names into Google. They don't half love talking about each other. Number 9. Hulk Hogan and Mike Awesome. Hang on, what? Hulk Hogan and Mike Awesome? Are you sure? Yeah? Okay, fine. I didn't know that. As it turns out, Hulk Hogan and Mike Awesome are cousins. Who knew? That probably explains why Mike had such a rough time in WCW after Hogan walked out following Bash of the Beach 2000, though. Aside from all of a sudden being accompanied to the ring by a bunch of overweight women, he then took on a bizarre 1970s gimmick that was appealing to no one. Literally no one. More often than not, being related or friends with the Hulkster was a huge plus. Horace Hogan, for example, or Brutus Beefcake. Awesome wasn't so lucky. Number 8. Dynamite Kid and the British Bulldog. Now, while this isn't such a surprise to some, I like putting it out there when I can because both the Dynamite Kid and the British Bulldog were amazing. That's some serious wrestling pedigree right there. Cousins outside the ring and partners in it, as well as sometimes opponents, is another case which is simply fascinating the more you read up about it. If you can't be bothered to do that, at least use that old WWE network to go back and watch what the two could do. A legacy can never die as long as it's remembered. Wait, that sounded awful. Number 7. Typhoon and Dusty Rhodes. Fred Ottman had an interesting wrestling career. Most of us remember his wonderful tag team with John Tenta, or Earthquake, as the Natural Disasters. Then, of course, was the Shockmaster, which will be his lasting memory. As the brother-in-law of Dusty Rhodes, though, it does mean he's the uncle of son Cody, which also opens up the opportunity for the former Stardust to wind him up on any and all family occasions for what is probably the biggest botch in wrestling history. Just to add that cherry on top, Cody's other uncle is Jerry Sags. Jeez. Number 6. Greg Valentine and Brian Knobbs. Well, that's not too surprising, is it? Look at them. It's as if a tub of goo was pulled apart and made into two. What's more of a shock, though, is that it's not actually a blood relation. They're brother-in-laws, which makes the resemblance weird. Let's run down some stories about Brian Knobbs for fun, however, and then let me know what you think of him after I've told you. For one, he got the Nasty Boys fired from TNA after allegedly exposing himself before some Spike TV executives, which is just unnecessary, and he definitely lived up to his tag team name when he mocked the death of Randy Savage at a show the day he died. Actually, that's not just nasty, it's downright. Number 5. Blackjack Lanza and JBL. Blackjack Mulligan, who sadly recently passed away, has a legendary wrestling family. Not only was he the father of Barry and Kendall Windham, he was also the father-in-law of Mike IRS Rotunda and the grandfather of Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas. He basically powered the wrestling scene for decades. His partner, Blackjack Lanza, is responsible for one very specific superstar too, JBL. The nephew of Lanza, the SmackDown commentator even gave a nod to his elder when he teamed with Barry Windham to form the new Blackjacks. And it sucked. Of course it sucked. You put new in front of anything in wrestling, and it instantly sucks. Number 4. Shawn Michaels and Matt Bentley. Who the hell is Matt Bentley? Oh right, he's Shawn Michaels' cousin. Fair enough. Imagine that, especially when you were both wrestlers. Why even bother? That's like deciding to become an astronaut and then realizing your dad is Neil Armstrong. You're probably better off trying to do literally anything else. With that said, Matt Bentley certainly managed to hold his own. Known better as Michael Shane in TNA, he claimed the X Division title on 2 occasions and had a pretty damn good match with Chris Sabin and Frankie Kazarian during his rookie year. He even had a squash match on SmackDown, which he lost.
Number 3, Daniel Bryan and John Laurinaitis. If John Cena had ever gotten over his fear of marriage, what a total diva story that was, and actually walked down the aisle with Nikki Bella, WWE producer and John People Power Laurinaitis would have been his father-in-law. Johnny is now married to the Bella's mum Kathy, which means he's related to Daniel Bryan, and that also means Cena and Daniel Bryan were almost brother-in-laws.
Plus, Johnny's brother is Road Warrior Animal, so the family just gets bigger still. Although I'm not sure how many dinners the ex-Legion of Doom man is going to be invited to, considering he's currently suing the WWE. Number 2. Kurt Angle and Jeff Jarrett. You know what's great about wrestling? The moral code that binds wrestlers together and ensures there's an almost brotherhood-like bond between them. No, wait, that's not it. It's because even though Kurt Angle and Jeff Jarrett are good friends, Double J didn't think twice about hooking up with the Olympic hero's ex-wife after they got divorced. Yeah, that's it. That does, of course, mean Jarrett is the stepfather to Angle's children, which does tie them in as family in some sense. As they work in the field of pro wrestling too, they turned the whole thing into a TV angle. Because why wouldn't you? Air that dirty laundry for my viewing pleasure, damn it. I, as a fan, deserve to know all of this through the joy of my entertainment box. Number 1. The Rock and Nia Jax. Are you related to The Rock? Because there's a good chance you might be. Everyone else is. You can't get through a week of WWE TV without someone you being related to the Great One. The latest is Raw roster member Nia Jax, who is Dwayne Johnson's cousin. While I'm sure he's a delight to be around during Thanksgiving, don't forget what happened the last time WWE decided to try and push someone using The Rock's lineage. He's not doing so well at the moment. He does have lovely hair and eyes that pop. Know of any other shocking wrestling relations? Let us know in the comments below, and then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Then come and join the MWO over on Twitter at SimonMiller316. MWO. Miller World Order. Clever that? No, it's not.